How do you feel about your students as readers this year? I've been kind of overwhelmed by mine.
Um, my freshman, I do some study skills early on, how to take notes, how to ask for help,
Yeah.
just general study tips about time management. And then the first three books we read are young adult fiction books to develop their reading fluency and confidence. And then we dip into some more difficult stuff after that. So we're
Hmm.
only about 80 pages into our first book because we did some other stuff plus the summer reading. So I
Yeah.
don't have a read yet. The two quizzes they've taken have been really good. So I think they're very earnest and they're trying really hard. Senior
Okay.
start with the summer reading book and then Beowulf, which is less
Right.
about lots of a page count and more about close reading. So
Yeah.
that's the weird thing, right, about doing British literature
Yeah.
chronologically is you don't have serious page counts really till the 18th, 19th century. So
Yeah.
it's
Completely.
kind of weird. It's kind of
Yeah.
interesting. What you do get is how do people, like when you're doing something like Beowulf or the Odyssey, how do people manage difficult, old, distant text? Not so
Yes.
much how do people manage reading for a long time.
Yes.
I don't think either of us would give a large block of pages to be read quickly with these books to kids. So I
Yeah.
think
No.
it's more about how do you manage difficulty and like the sort of difficulty that's not like Toni Morrison difficulty, which is very real, but more difficulty in terms of you're separated 3,000 years, or in the case of Beowulf, 1,200-ish years.
Yeah, where they're asking, what's my buy-in here? Why am I
Yeah,
reading this besides just something kind of a little bit violent, and maybe interesting on
yeah,
the surface? You're right. It's
yeah.
totally different with the British lit. It's tough, which I do, basically chronologically. I tell them we're going to take 300-year strides through
Yeah.
British lit history.
Yep.
You kind of do Beowulf, Gawain, Shakespeare, and then,
Yep.
Arthur Conan Doyle or something, and
Yep.
that's, those are roughly 300 year differences. But in my other American lit classes, which are most of my classes this year, I'm just overwhelmed with this fact. And we had parent teacher night, and I was telling parents this over and over. I'm like, I'm thinking about just throwing everything out and just stacking up a big pile of books. And every day it's just like reading daycare. Just come in, sit down in the room, get out a book after putting everything else away, phones hung on the wall, and read. Like, I'm just overwhelmed with this thing. It's like a vision, or like a
Yeah.
calling I feel like I've had, that these students have got to read. Parents, adults always say that, but it just feels like that so much that kids just aren't reading. So I don't know. I think I am going to do some version of that. I have to do some other things,
Yeah.
but I just feel like pushing them through pages and just push, and just
I think
have
that's fair.
a 3,000 page year or something like that,
Yeah.
even name it, and just stack them up. It's a
Yeah.
little bit of a blunt instrument, but my gosh, to build that muscle, to have that experience. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking for my kids.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.